of Coach Rivals action. I'm a special guest caster for this early game on Thursday. A lot of our other matches got rescheduled this week. But I'm Justin Talbert, and I'm so happy to be here to be streaming this, to be able to put this out to the masses for you to be able to watch some great League of Legends action tonight. We have a fantastic matchup between Coach Diff, Team Coach Diff, who is sitting at 3-0 at the top of the standings, tied for first with Team Tragedy, taking on Deathcap for Cutie, who is sitting at 1-2. Deathcap for Cutie had a really tough week last week, going 0-2 in some of their matches because of some reschedules. They had a doubleheader last week and went 0-2 in those. Definitely a heartbreaking week, and both of those matches ended up ending less than 25 minutes. 24:07 and 24:22, I believe, were those numbers. So definitely a tough matchup for them. However, they are looking to bounce back tonight versus Coach Diff, but they definitely have their work cut out for them because Coach Diff is sitting at the top. They're 3-0, a fantastic team. We're going to switch over to the pro draft so we can make sure that we stay up to date with that, with what's happening there. Let me go ahead and activate my webcam so you can see me as we go. We're just waiting for them to begin. I'll shrink myself down, and there we go. So you have something else to look at other than just a blank screen there of champions. So we are, again, Deathcat for Cutie, 1-2. Had a tough week last week, went 0-2 against their opponents. Coach Diff, on the other hand, sitting at 3-0. And these two teams have different play styles for sure. Coach Diff has a very, very strong top lane. Hernandez Teaches in the top lane has been asserting his dominance with 2 games on set, another game on Viego. Definitely very aggressive in lane, pushing that advantage. Sorry, communicating with the team to make sure we're ready on stream. Pushing that advantage. So as we're already into picks and bans, this is awesome. Definitely getting this thing rolling. But looking at Hernandez Teaches over on Coach Diff, has been able to, this whole team has been able to play set 3 times. Hernandez twice, and then a Smooth Criminal in the mid lane was able to grab it once as well. Mathieu Ledoux has played, I believe, Rumble and Udyr, and his last pick, Karthus, I think. Yeah, I believe it was Karthus. Definitely just been a huge champion pool, been able to carry a lot from the jungle, and then a Smooth Criminal showing Nocturne, Ari, as well as Set in that one game. The bot side of their map is their weaker point. They do tend to play more safer bot lane picks, as we do see the Set ban coming through from Deathcat for Cutie. They took notes. You definitely want to ban Set versus Coach Diff. On the other side from Coach Diff, they are taking aim at the bot lane and the mid lane. I would say 2 of the strongest players for Deathcat for Cutie would be Sones in the mid lane, and their bot lane, who is going to be Shiny Ninetales. So Shiny Ninetales and Sones definitely doing a lot of the carry work, whereas on the side of Coach Diff, it's more the top side of the map. The jungle for Deathcat for Cutie has been growing and developing, but there's definitely a jungle advantage for Team Coach Diff. So as we look at the bans coming through, you can see that's why they're targeting different champions. Deathcat for Cutie, targeting that top side, getting rid of the Set. No more Set this game. Diana is taken out. They're not going to see Diana mid or the jungle. Diana is very oppressive in the jungle when she gets ahead, assassinating those backline carries. They definitely want to get that out of the way. And then the Mundo ban coming through, which is interesting. I'm not sure if either Mathieu Ledoux or Hernandez has been bringing that Mundo in, but we are on patch 11.13, which means Hullbreaker is active. It's in the game, it's live, and Nocturne slips through the ban phase, and it is priority picked for Deathcat for Cutie. This could go top, jungle, or mid. However, Deathcat for Cutie left up Viego. Viego is still very strong right now in 11-13. Some of the tuning that they gave to him is shifting him towards the jungle matchup. So he is his healing that he gets off of minions was reduced by half And now he's more of a jungler. So that is what we kind of look forward to Viego going. I don't it wouldn't surprise me if they took Viego into a solo lane, but as we see right now, what we're potentially looking at, Viego is going into the jungle. Nocturne, still a big flex pick. Strybreaker nerfs came through, but Nocturne still really strong. In fact, he can ult in on a target, pop the Strybreaker, and Strybreaker now has, I think, like a 90% slow. It's a ridiculous, absolutely bonkers slow, but they removed the dash from it. So I do like the Alistar. All right, so Alistar coming out from Coach Diff. I don't believe we've seen Alistar yet. Correction. That is not Alistar. That's Morgana. I got way too excited. That is a Morgana pick coming through for Coach Diff. Morgana seeing a lot of play in Coach Rivals. In 10 of 12 games, we have seen Morgana show up. So that Alistar is Morgana. Morgana, a big pick here in Coach Rivals. Black Shield, super powerful, denying a lot of engage that the bot lane support could bring in. But also, this Morgana could potentially be going jungle and maybe Viego in a solo lane, as Deathcap for Cutie brings in Mordekaiser, which is one of their picks that they used to grab their first win of the season. That Mordekaiser had a beeline on the enemy AD carry and instantly put them into the death realm with himself, taking them out of the fight, neutralizing the AD carry. However, I expect this Mordekaiser for Deathcap for Cutie to play this matchup a lot differently. The Coach Diff bot lane, they may not be looking, having their AD carry as their strongest member that is, to pull into the death realm. So I'm expecting this Mordekaiser to be targeting the top lane, the jungle, or the mid lane in these big team fights. In response, Deathcap for Cutie also picks up Caitlyn, a safe laner, has great range, can punish enemy laners in the bot lane with her range, and we see the Varus being picked up for Coach Diff. Coach Diff on Varus, they have played Varus every single match. Varus, he's right back there on the wall, is a fantastic weak side ADC pick. He can farm relatively safely from a distance. He is going to struggle a little bit into the Caitlyn, but if he's running Halo Blade's lethality, he can poke from a distance with his Q. Also, even if he gets behind in lane, his ultimate is huge. Unlike Ashe, who has the single target stun with her ult, Varus will root the first target, and then it causes the enemy team to have to separate from that initial target, or they get rooted as well. So it has a great team fighting ultimate, even if he gets far behind. So this Varus doesn't necessarily have to pump out a ton of damage. That ultimate can be very useful to allow other champions on the team to do a bulk of the carrying. Other bans coming through. Xin Zhao. So that tells me Deathcap for Cutie is expecting this Viego to go to a solo lane, either top or mid. The Xin Zhao ban in the jungle. Xin Zhao, also called Wen Zhao, if he's on your team with an enchanter, can be very, very oppressing when he gets ahead early. Lee Sin banned. Lee Sin typically is solo laner now. He did receive some nerfs on this recent patch, but it was more for his late game E damage, not his early game E damage. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen any players on Coach Diff rocking the Lee Sin in the solo lane, but it is something to really look forward and see potentially if that's what they have been looking towards, maybe bringing into this matchup. Also, Gnar picked up for Coach Diff. So this is going to pretty much solidify Viego going either jungle or mid. He could still go mid as well as jungle. Gnar is going to the top lane. I'm going to bring up chat here. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to take a brief breather. There we go. I want to be able to respond to chat as chat comes through. So, last picks coming from Deathcap for Cutie. The Rakan being hovered. I love the Rakan. One of the things that Deathcap for Cutie is lacking right now is a dive buddy for the Nocturne. Rakan satisfies that. You don't want Nocturne diving on the backline completely solo. The Rakan can E in with the Nocturne, pop the ultimate, pop the W, the grand entrance, and pop that up. And then the Orianna coming through for Sones. Sones has been playing Anivia last week. Played 2 games on Anivia, didn't find success. Orianna is typically banned against him. And as you see in Coach Diff's ban phase, they did ban Tristana against him because that Tristana is not targeting the ADC. That Tristana is targeting Sones. He's able to grab the Orianna. He didn't get to touch it at all last week. It was completely banned out. I'm surprised we didn't see the Echo. He has been rocking Echo. And the response here is Anivia. So, confirmed. We are having Viego in the jungle. Anivia mid lane, Gnar top lane, Varus Morgana bot side for Coach Diff. On the other side for Deathcap for Cutie, we have Nocturne, Mordekaiser. Nocturne in the jungle, Mordekaiser in the top lane, Caitlyn ADC, Rakan support, Orianna mid. So definitely some great. They're trying to figure out if they're going to line up correctly in the lobby. So we'll switch over to that here in just a second. But either way, we have, I think, really great team comps here. With Coach Diff, they do have scaling on the side of Anivia that offers great wave clear if the game goes late. So if Coach Diff gets behind early, they kind of have that insurance policy with Anivia to be able to stall some of the push there and do some wave clear for the team so they don't get completely overwhelmed in the base. So they are in champ select right now, going to run through the draft. I'm going to go ahead and mute that because we don't necessarily need to hear it, and I'll talk as we're in the loading screen. We'll pop that up and we'll take a look at everything. On the other side, Deathcap for Cutie. I mentioned Nocturne. Nocturne's going to want to be diving on one of these champions. I see Nocturne diving on that Anivia. I think that Anivia is going to have a very difficult time trying to get the Nocturne off of her. I am interested to see how the Anivia is going to deal with it, but the Nocturne has the dive buddy in the Rakan. It's possible Mordekaiser goes a little bit tanky here, and he just pulls Viego into the death realm. One of the big things about Viego is, even if he's not really ahead early, if the enemy is really ahead and has those fed carries, all it takes is one death on the enemy team, and that Viego can start popping off, taking souls, getting those invulnerability frames, all that. So a great pickup there. I'm expecting the Mordekaiser to be taking the Viego out of those fights. That's going to allow the Caitlyn, the Nocturne, and the Orianna to do a lot of the cleanup. And so by the time Viego comes out of the Death Realm, even if Viego kills the Mordekaiser, that's then going to leave him in a 4v1. So that would be my game plan looking at the comps, but I'm just a gold 3 scrub. What do I know? Nocturne is coming in with a 100% win rate in Coach Rivals. So we're going to take a look at some of the meta report here as, again, they're going through those selections. Nocturne, again, as I said, 100% win rate, picked in 3 games and has won all 3 of those. He hasn't always been in the jungle. He's been in solo lanes. Believe solo lanes twice. And then from there, let's see if we have any new picks. For this one, the Alistar would have been a new pick, but that is a Morgana. I'm not. The Gnar has been picked before. Anivia has been before. I believe the Rakan is brand new. I think the Rakan is a new look we haven't seen yet from anybody. That's Rogue Otters is going to be piloting that Rakan. So interested to see that. That's going to have major implications in this bot lane. Again, rewind it back a second. Remember, Coach Diff has a very strong top side of the map. Deathcap for Cutie has a stronger bot side of the map, mid, bot, and together. So mid in this matchup could potentially end up being a wash. Top side, I'm going to give in favor of Coach Diff. Bot side, I'm going to put in favor of Deathcap for Cutie. We've seen matches like this before, so it's interesting to see how it's going to play out as we get into it. I'm expecting jungle presence to favor that. Get your bot lane rolling, Deathcap for Cutie. You have the Rakan to absolutely just dive on this Varus, who is an immobile AD carry. This Varus is going to have a horrible, horrible time in this lane. But as long as the Varus can survive, play safe, try to get farm when you can. You don't have to overextend. Whenever Deathcap for Cutie wants to team fight, you drop that ult down, and then you're allowing your Gnar to go in. You're allowing your Anivia to drop the ult down and begin shredding in the Blizzard. Ronnie, please don't hate me if I'm messing up these ability names. But dropping that down is going to do a ton of damage, and it's going to cause Deathcap for Cutie to have to scramble a little bit because they can't stay in range of that ult. Gnar, definitely a high skill cap champion here for Coach Diff. I believe Hernandez Teaches is going to be piloting that. Gnar, you have to build up that Gnar bar. It's very difficult to manage that. Gnar has been banned against Coach Diff several times, so it's cool to see that they're getting their hands on it there. Again, flipping back to Deathcap for Cutie, Orianna is going to be a problem. The Orianna can throw that ball on 2 different champions for Deathcap for Cutie. You can ball the Nocturne, you can ball the Rakan. Those ball delivery systems are very important when you're going to pick Orianna mid lane. You want to have a very consistent way of getting that ball onto the backline, onto those priority targets, and wiping them out with a shockwave dissonance. So that is going to be super important for Deathcap for Cutie. I cannot wait to get into this matchup. I am expecting this bot lane for Deathcap for Cutie to try and assert dominance, get some pressure early, Rakan threatening those engages. If Rakan gets a knock-up on this Varus or Morgana, Caitlyn could drop the trap underneath. However, let's remember, Morgana does have the black shield. So we are going to have some skill checking going on in some of these. So Mordekaiser, I like Mordekaiser coming in, splitting the damage threat. The only thing that I'm concerned about in both of these team comps is there's no solid, strong front line. Mordekaiser, if he ults a champion from Coach Diff into the Death Realm, then he's not in the fight. He is not a frontline champion. He is gone. He does not exist on Summoner's Rift. He's in the Mirror Summoner's Rift. And then on the side of Coach Diff, Gnar can be a frontliner if Gnar is Mega Gnar. If not, he's a ranged prehistoric Yordle that's throwing a boomerang at you. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. The team fights are going to go very, very fast. We're not going to have long, drawn-out, extended team fights. That's my prediction. They're going to go in, and somebody's getting blown up when these team fights break down, and I'm excited. I can't wait for it. I'm definitely looking forward to what's going to happen in this match. Be sure to grab your bingo cards. Thank you, Patty, for putting in all the hard work. Bingo cards for everybody. Follow along. Hopefully, you get a good set. No pun intended. Set's banned. And we are getting out of the spectator delay. We are loading into game. I'm so excited. Cannot wait for this. Deathcap for Cutie versus Coach Diff. Waiting for Streamlabs to pick up my stream here. We are just loading in right now, so it's not too bad. Bear with me. I think, let's change this to borderless, and that should, yay, there we go. All right, perfect. We are unmuting, so we should get some desktop audio here. This was an emergency fill-in, by the way, so sorry about that. Things are a little uncoordinated. All right, let's do this thing. All right, welcome to Summoner's Rift, baby. Here we go. We have a 4-stack in the bot side for Coach Diff. Expecting potentially the invade here from Deathcat for Cutie. We'll see what happens. They're waiting patiently. And a standard 5-stack defense, or I'm sorry, a line of scrimmage defense, rather, from Deathcat for Cutie. You see them all watching a different ramp from the jungle. The mid lane typically steps a little bit forward so that you can spot maybe some sneaky invade from the mid lane. But it looks like we're not going to run into any sort of level 1 shenanigans. Viego starting on his blue buff. Nocturne starting on his blue buff, or I'm sorry, on his red buff. So both junglers getting a bot side leash. For any new players or any new coaches that are tuning in, that is a really strong leash. Even if blue buff is really valuable to you as a jungler, as early trading coming in from a Smooth Criminal, proccing that Electrocute early. Electrocute, a great rune choice if you're going to be aggressive early. Get some lane presence. As we see this ranged matchup for Coach Dubs and Hernandez Teaches, Gnar is going to be punishing that Mordekaiser. Every time Mordekaiser walks up to CS, we're going to see that Gnar throwing the boomerang out over and over and over again. So, match is going. Sorry for the pause there. Ronnie, I see you in chat. I did not look at the skin game. I do apologize. So, all things going fairly as expected. You do have an advantage in the bot side. You see Caitlyn already up 6 CS to 2 on the Varus as another Electrocute proc from a Smooth Criminal. He does have the passive ready. Sone's going a little bit aggressive, but he's taking some minion aggro. A Smooth Criminal wins out on that trade with the help from the Electrocute. Orianna is running Phase Rush, so not necessarily a combat rune. That's going to give them more movement speed to dodge some skill shots. So in the bot side, Caitlyn winning this CS matchup. We do expect that. We expect the Caitlyn to punish her range or use her range advantage. Gnar on the top side did have a CS lead, but Gnar roamed down towards the top scuttle and left lane a little bit, so it gave Mordekaiser a chance to farm up a little bit as another engage come through, an early Black Shield. That fades off, and it's going to leave Varus with about 150 health. So Varus living on the edge here. Great pull in from Coach Dubs onto Gnar, but ultimately he's just looking to farm this out. It's going to be really tough to engage on that Gnar when he can just hop away and attack from range. See pings coming down for the top Scuttle Crab. Nocturne heading that way to grab top Scuttle as Viego is ganking mid. The E coming up just short. That was one of the buffs that Viego had. The missile speed on the E is a lot faster, and there's a larger range on it. So Nocturne able to secure that top Scuttle is going to be a trade of the bot Scuttle for the Viego, grabbing that for the side of Coach Diff. So both junglers handshaking there as a flash comes out from Dr. Strangeglove. That's the heal as well, and the first blood unfortunately goes over to Rakan. However, that's still some great pressure there in the lane. Let's turn chat off. We don't need to see chat, do we? Viego now on the invade, wrapping around behind the Caitlyn Rakan. We'll see what work he can do early. Still very healthy on side of Caitlyn Rakan. Morgana's not going to be able to do much here versus hitting, other than hitting a binding. Viego sticking around, losing valuable time on the map where he could be clearing camps, getting experience, getting gold. Maybe could be counter jungling, taking Krugs right now. He does spot out the Rakan. He is going to go on the Rakan. Rakan does still have Flash. Should be able to get out of this. The trap goes down. Flash comes out. And that's going to be just a trade with the Summoner spell. Rakan does Flash. He is out of there. Taking a look at the mid lane, CS, pretty even. Sones on the Orianna, able to get in a recall and TP back to lane. That's very important. Looking across at that, the CS is even, but the item advantage is in favor of the Orianna. Orianna posturing forward, looking to try to stop Anivia's back. Does not do so, but Anivia does not have TP. So this is going to be free pressure in the mid lane. Orianna going to be able to free farm for a second, build up that CS. That TP able to get him back to base, to buy, to come back. Looking at the top lane, Mordekaiser faring very well in this, actually. Gnar sitting at 50% health, does have the Mega Gnar built up, but Mordekaiser sitting at 33 CS, tied up with the Gnar, who is in that, has that range advantage when he's in mini, as we see another gank to the mid lane. Flash comes out for the Orianna. Mathieu Delou hits the E this time, and that's not going to be enough to get the kill. Conqueror is fully stacked up, but he does eat some health, or lose some health in exchange for it. Nocturne comes in for the gank. Mathieu Deleu able to flash out. So a flash for flash in that trade. Orianna losing it as well as the Viego. Dragon is up. We do have an Ocean Soul. It appears to be Dragon number 1. And unfortunately, that Varus stepped up way too far. He's going to eat a lot of trade damage here. And a 90 caliber net to get more in range to complete that auto attack. What a great play from Shiny Ninetales. Fantastic. Picking up the kill on the Varus. Varus now 0-2. And again, that play, that kill, crucially going over to the Caitlyn. The Ignite was not available for the Rakan to be able to steal it accidentally. You know, summoner or support main woes there. And then we have Rogue Otters on the roam to mid. Unfortunately, missing the grand entrance onto the Anivia. Anivia is out of mana as well as the Orianna. So I am expecting both of these mid lane champs to get in a reset. As junglers are getting back out on the map. Viego heading top side. I'm sorry, bot side. Nocturne heading top side, clearing his wolves. Let's see which team is going to make a play first on this Drake. Drake should be in favor of Deathcap for Cutie this game. They do have the bot lane pressure. The Caitlyn is far ahead. Missing pings coming out, and both junglers kind of see each other at the dragon. They're like, yeah, no thanks, don't want it. We take a look at these great pressure that the Mordekaiser is exerting, and the Gnar seeming to be content with just farming it up right now. Not doing a lot of harass. As soon as Mordekaiser misses his E, that's Gnar's go button. Like, okay, I can harass a little bit safely now. So a great trade pattern there. Anivia getting some priority, roaming down along with the Viego to try to clear some wards. Orianna's going to spot the Viego, trying to invade the jungle. And Sones is pinched now, has no flash. Surely he's dead here. And that's going to be Viego taking Orianna's soul, getting those invincibility frames, and seeing what he can do with an Orianna jungle kit. See what happens. This is a 2v2. Now a 3v2 as Caitlyn joins in. Has Viego overextended. The fear comes out. But the Anivia damage is way too much. You're having to back off as a trade happens in the top lane. Surely Mordekaiser goes down for this. That's going to be a pickup for Hernandez Teaches on the Gnar, and 2 for 2 across the board, but a 1,000 gold lead in advantage for Coach Diff, and that's going to, Deathcap for Cutie, a 1,000 gold advantage, and that's going to signal, let's start up this Drake. We chunked out the Viego, he can't join here, we have a strong bot lane, hard engage onto the Anivia, who is but we have the TP coming in from Hernandez Teaches. The Mega Gnar is not charged up. Caitlyn goes way too far and gets dropped. The Dragon is de-aggroed. Rogue Otter's being attacked by Gnar. Gnar's going to pick up the Rakan for sure. Red team does grab the Dragon. Viego was able to swoop in and take that. Thanks for the leash, pal. Hernandez Teaches snagging Rakan, and Sones is going to have to run away from this. Completely outnumbered by his team, or by the enemy team, and now that is Team Coach Diff 5-2 on the kill count, a 500 gold lead after that play swings in their favor. You definitely saw the hype coming out of Caitlyn. Caitlyn was smelling the lead that Shiny Ninetales smelled. I'm in the lead. I have the advantage. I'm stronger than this Varus. Steps a little bit too far forward and gets punished for it. But it's still a very close game. They still have that advantage in the bot lane. Mordekaiser exerting a lot of pressure here in the top, but Gnar is now sitting 2-0, completed the Iron Spike Whip, has the Merc Treads, and it's now time to wonder when the Coach Diff champions are going to consider purchasing Quicksilver Sash. Are you going to pay the Mordekaiser tax? As an ambush lies in wait for Sones. Oh, the stun, perfectly timed. Read the prediction of the movement. Fantastic. There was no way for Sones to be able to get out of that once that stun hit. A great layering of the CC. He would have had to flash. I imagine he probably wasn't looking. He was probably looking at mid lane, not having his camera on, as a flash over the wall for Viego, and then the blast cone over as Rakan is here and turning this into a 3v2, but there's the pickup really quickly on the Nocturne. The switching of the bodies. Now, Mathieu Delou has switched back over to Viego. He does drop to the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser is here. Rogue Otters comes back in with the ultimate, roots them up, charms them up. Hernandez Teach is going to drop to the Caitlyn, and they're going to grab the Anivia as well. That is a shutdown from the Anivia going over to Caitlyn. Caitlyn now 3-1-1, drops 150 gold bounty right above her head. So she is definitely on a roll and pushing this forward as Deathcap for Cutie is going to go ahead and grab this Rift Herald while they're in the area to try and open up this map a little bit. Great turn for Deathcap for Cutie. Early kill onto the Nocturne from Mathieu Ledoux. Apocalypse dropped early, and Viego was able to steal that soul, but just the raw numbers advantage and the rotations coming through as we see Varus and Morgana stayed in the bot lane, and they didn't really get much for it. If you're not able to join and follow your enemy on those roams, get some plates, get a tower. And unfortunately, they were unable to do that, so a great roam timer for those as the Varus ult comes through, and there it is. There's the utility from the Varus. The Anivia wall goes up, the stun goes through, and Varus hits that R. Chains of Corruption from Dr. Strangeglove comes in, locks down Apocalypse, and that's going to be that weak side Varus play being useful. Taking turret aggro here, going almost taking out Orianna is the Anivia. You gotta sense Viego is on the hunt for that. So if you look on your minimap there, you see Orianna taking the long way around, definitely recalling, not wanting to stay near that tower. As we see an engage coming through on the top side, a double pull from the Mordekaiser, pulling them nearly within tower range. I don't sense a dive coming out here, so Mordekaiser's going to be able to farm up a lot of these minions. Viego's going to take that and just recall. No summoners burnt there. On the bot side, Varus and Morgana were able to get one plate, but not much more than that in that previous play that saw Deathcap for Cutie grabbing, I believe, 3 kills, and 2 of which went on to that Caitlyn, giving her that bounty. Second dragon is coming up soon. We have a Mountain Soul happening in, a Mountain Drake coming up in 42 seconds. Baron coming up in 6.5 minutes. As now, Deathcap for Cutie looking to go aggressive. We have a 4-man invade on the bot side of the jungle. Nocturne ultimate is popped as trades happen in the top as well. Looks like nothing's going to be happening on the bot side as we're focusing on the top. They are kind of posturing, and we're going to switch over real quick now as Hernandez Teaches does pick up the 1v1 solo kill. Chains of Corruption go out. We do have the dash back out. Viego is going really deep. Major Queso Destroyer on the front line, tanking a lot of damage, but nobody drops yet. Dr. Strangeglove does pick up Apocalypse, so Varus showing his value here, staying at range, dropping those Qs from a distance. He does have the Serrated Dirk, that lethality, putting in work. All in all, a 2-for-1 in favor of Team Coach Diff. As we see, Coach Diff is starting up the Drake right now. We do have some action happening across. We're going to zoom out to try to get a whole view of everything as we do have them. Coach Diff is pinched between, but it looks like they're going to call off this. They're not going to take that fight. The Anivia stun goes a little wide. Great 90 caliber net and flash out from Caitlyn to stay safe. Looks like everything is going to die down after that. Coach Diff, after picking up their second Drake of the game, were pinched between Orianna and Caitlyn Rakan. They're able to get out of that as Mordekaiser still farming it up. 94 CS to Nars 108. Oh, Black Shield comes out a little bit early, so that Black Shield has a pretty long cooldown. If this wave is able to bounce back out, could potentially see an engage. A couple of tower shots eaten by Shiny Ninetails. Morgana Varus playing it smart, staying back, letting the Black Shield come back off a cooldown. As we see the Death Realm coming out from Mordekaiser and a gank in the mid lane from Viego on to the Orianna does flash, but it's not enough. He does die in the process. Going back to the top lane, looks like no deaths are traded. There just still came out of the Death Realm. The ace in the hole comes out, is not enough to kill the Varus. Surely that was blocked by the Morgana. All in all, it's going to be a 1-0 in favor of Coach Diff, taking out the Orianna, who is now 0-3. And looking across at the Anivia, 4-1-4. Great job by the Anivia, getting ahead early, keeping up, farming well. This Anivia is going to be a monster. Normally you wait for Anivia to scale up, and fantastic damage come through Anivia as soon as the TP completes from the Orianna. But Rakan is here. Oh no! The shockwave goes wide. The flash comes through from the Anivia, ensuring that misses. Now the ult is popped from the Rakan, but he's not able to chase down the Gnar. You can see there was that ball delivery system with the Orianna matched with the Rakan. I do like that. Surely we're going to see that play come up again. Unfortunately, they were unable to make the connection here at the 16-minute mark. Still a close matchup. 11-5 the kill score. 2 dragons in favor of Coach Diff, but Coach Diff sitting at a 1.3k lead, roughly. That lead does not count stats that they're getting from those Drakes. Those Drake stats are not factored in. So that lead is a little bit larger, but still a relatively close game across the map. Caitlyn with a gigantic lead in the bot lane. Hernandez teaches lead top as an engage. Rogue Otter's going on to both Anivia and to Viego. Viego ults forward. And an easy disengage from Orianna and Rakan. Fighting over vision now in that river. Trying to get that priority. Gnar has roamed down. And it looks like we're going to get maybe a 4-on-4 ARAM here in the mid lane. Recalls coming through. Interesting time to recall for some of these. That's going to give... That could have potentially been a mid tower there, but we do have Mordekaiser trading with the Gnar again. There's the Mega Gnar coming out. Misses the W, but does hit the Mega Gnar into the wall. That's the stun coming out. Mordekaiser, okay trade. The second W does hit. Stridebreaker comes out for the slow. That slow is massive, and there's the hop on, and then finishing it up, Hernandez teaches. What a long, drawn-out fight between these two champions in the top lane. Rogue Otter's posturing for this engage. There's the grand entrance. Black Shield does come out. A Chains of Corruption hit as well. Morgana is going to get out of there. The ace in the hole is ready. Caitlyn doesn't have a blue trinket, though. It's a little nifty trick. You can blue trinket ahead and then ace in the hole. But that's going to leave Varus under tower by himself here, as the first turret doesn't drop until 19 minutes into the game. And that's going to be in the top lane, Gnar dropping that tower. So definitely an action-packed game. A lot of focus on kills, not a lot of focus on objectives. But as we're reaching this point in the game where a lot more items are coming through, we are going to see those towers drop much more quickly. Mathieu de Ledoux may be caught out. The ultimate from Rakan is popped, but he's looking for it. He does hit him with the W. Surely that's going to hit, and we have the Black Shield come through clutch, stopping him from being CC'd by the Shockwave. Great use of the Black Shield from the Morgana. You saved the jungler, but a great answer and response here from Deathcap for Cutie. This is a wide open window to snag this Drake. Now they need to get back and tend to this top lane. Push that lane out. Send either Orianna or Mordekaiser there. Swap Caitlyn into the mid lane. Just tend to these waves. Keep your eye on Baron. TP is available for Mordekaiser. I'd love to see Mordekaiser in the bot lane. Now that I think about it. Mordekaiser bot lane, Orianna top lane. Keep Caitlyn in the mid. But Caitlyn's going to get in this 1v1, and Varus has no tower. The 90 caliber net goes a little bit at an awkward angle, so Caitlyn unable to keep that chase going as we have another fight here just outside of mid lane. The Mega Gnar almost scoops Orianna into the wall, Death Realm comes out onto the Anivia. Anivia does have the egg passive, though. So as soon as Mordekaiser comes out of this, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And that's going to be Mordekaiser dropping, Viego taking his soul. And now 20 minutes in, Coach Diff only sitting at a 1,500 gold lead. Deathcap for Cutie came to compete. There's the Shockwave. Anivia does not have the egg. The Clockwork wind-up autos are going to do work. That's a shutdown from the Anivia onto the Orianna. Viego sitting in the side, waiting to see if the Orianna and Rakan were going to get baited forward a little bit more. They do not. They sense something is up. They do back off as Apocalypse comes around with the run, with the support in case any sort of engage happens. So a lot of action happening in this matchup. 21.5 minutes in. Only 2 turrets taken in the whole game. 1 for each side. 6-13 is your kill score. This is going to be mid tower going in favor of Orianna. So that's going to reduce that lead down. Now, Deathcap for Cutie only behind. The ult come through from the Viego to gap close and then uses the E, but he is unable to make the connection. That phase rush coming in clutch for Orianna, be able to get that additional move speed to avoid some of these ganks. So now a 300 gold difference between these two teams. What a close matchup. Again, Deathcap for Cutie lost both of their matches last week in less than 25 minutes. 24:07 and 24:22. That's got to be weighing on their mental. It's got to be affecting their psyche coming into tonight. And now, holding on strong through this early game. Not letting things get too far away from them. It's 22.5 minutes into the game. They are only behind 700 gold. So they're doing a great job staying in there. This game is going much better. They've got to feel better about that. Some of those nerves maybe be dropping off. The confidence is building for them. And they're doing all of this against the team in the league that is undefeated and tied for first place, along with Team Tragedy. Sorry, I had to plug my own team there for a second. As we do see lane assignments change up a little bit, I don't like the Mordekaiser in the mid lane. I'd love to see Caitlyn come over mid so Caitlyn can easily get to Baron to really start that up or be close to any other fights, as this tower is going to go down very, very quickly if Coach Diff is able to get a minion wave here. Not a lot of wave clear here mid. Orianna is on the way. Looks like the tower is going to stand for now. Dragon is not up, but we have a lot of posturing on this bot river from Coach Diff. All the vision around Baron is on the side of Coach Diff. They do have a control ward near the jungle exit from Deathcat for Cutie's side. And there's the Rakan popping the ult, popping the grand entrance. Chaotic fight. Narn comes in, scoops the Orianna away from the wall. Unfortunately, unable to connect, but a double stun from the Orianna. I'm sorry, the Anivia grabbing the Orianna. A 1-for-0 so far in this chaotic fight. Mathieu Ledoux only surviving with sub 100 HP. Told you, these fights are not going to be long and drawn out. These players are going to be bursted down quickly. We don't have these big beefy boys on both sides, you know, running like a double tank sort of composition. So lots of damage, lots of action back and forth. That kill in favor of Coach Diff comes through, but the dragon is spawning. We do have a Cloud Drake. It is going to be a Cloud Soul map, and this is going to be Deathcat for Cutie's second dragon of the game. So even though you had Coach Diff winning out on the fight in the mid lane, they took way too much damage from the ensuing team fight and had to give up what could have been potentially their third Drake, giving a second Drake over to Deathcat for Cutie. And you don't really feel too bad about that. It is it's their second Drake. It's not the soul point. But Viego able to get out of that sub 100 HP, meaning that Deathcat for Cutie able to grab that. As we have the shockwave coming through on the Varus, he does burn his flash, but Orianna does not have vision on the rest of Coach Diff. not willing to continue to chase that further. Orianna did have the flash, did have the phase rush. As Hernandez teaches, maybe caught out. It's Orianna and Rakan into a Gnar, but Gnar does have Sterix as well as Strybreaker and some teammates coming nearby. So smart disengage from the side of Deathcap for Cutie. Morgana Q misses. This is the chance for them to go a little bit of aggressive. Black Shield drops down, but it doesn't stop physical damage. That's an easy trap onto the Zhonya's. And he's going to be instant rooted. And unfortunately, Rogue Otters picks it up. But fortunately on side for Deathcap for Cutie, that is a numbers advantage on the map for them now as they're looking to contest these chickens that Viego is going after. Meanwhile, Gnar made his way over to the top side. Got a little bit of pressure there. So that's going to force Deathcap to go answer that. Ult comes through from Viego. Shockwave goes wide. And now Caitlyn in a difficult position. Varus ult goes a little wide. Here comes the Rakan. Re-engage. Grabbing the Varus. Surely Anivia is going to drop from this as well. Viego drops 2. That's going to be a double kill for the Caitlyn. And another kill picked up by the Nocturne. Deathcap for Cutie has the advantage on the map right now. But we have a split push in the top lane. TP coming in from Orianna. But Orianna has no mana to be able to stop much on that push. See if she has enough mana to clear some of that wave. But I'm sure Gnar's just going to be content taking that tower. And he does. Mid lane tier 2 drops in favor of Deathcap for Cutie. Deathcap for Cutie on the inhib turret now. They're going to continue this push. Surely this is a mid inhib dropping. We'll see what kind of moves they make after that. It's way too early to try to end the game right now. Viego's coming up. Varus is coming up. So they're going to be content taking that inhib. They're going to back off. And I'd like to see them establish some vision around Baron. Look at all of the Coach Diff vision around Baron. 3 wards, a 4th over here in the Tri-Brush. We do have a kind of one hit. I think that's a Trinket ward there. And now we have some vision established by Deathcap for Cutie. Great play there. Once you get that lead, you do not want to just recall. You've got to establish vision and set that up on the neutral objective that is about to spawn. 28 minutes into this game. Nearly a dead even matchup between these two teams. Only 300 gold separates them, and it is now in favor of Deathcap for Cutie. So you like to see this team bounce back from that 0-2 week they just had, and they're really taking it to the team Coach Diff, the undefeated team, sitting in first place as the Rakan W comes just a little short. Varus able to walk away from that. Gnar still on split push duty. We do not see Gnar with the Hull Breaker. Remember that brand new item coming in that Fiora used so masterfully in our Coach Rivals game that we featured last night on stream. But this is going to be green light here for Deathcap for Cutie to start up this Baron. They have the vision. It's about halfway there. Viego is here for the steal. He has Smite. He has Flash. Orianna doing her best to try to zone everybody off. Vision in the pit. Now he's have to guess. He ults in and he does not get it. Blue team, Nocturne does get the smite down, grabs the Baron. Great pickup from there. Now Viego's stuck in the Death Realm in the pit with Mordekaiser. He does get away, as does Mordekaiser, barely from the Anivia. Ultimately, Coach Diff got a tower in the bot side. Gnar continued to split push, had TP available, didn't want to TP in for that. They were trusting on Mathieu Ledoux to be able to flash in, ult in rather, get the smite. Unfortunately, it did not happen. TP over to the top lane for the Mordekaiser, buffing up these minions with purple, able to take this top tier 1. He's got a double wave stacked up there. He's going to escort all those minions over to the tier 2 to grab that tier 2 tower. All that pressure now that Deathcap for Cutie is putting in the top lane is got to be putting pressure on Coach Diff. Do we go answer the Mordekaiser, or do we go take and contest this Drake? Do we let the Drake go? Nocturne already on the Drake, taking it. Orianna on zoning duty as we zone out. Morgana drops to the duo between Orianna and Morgana. That is going to be the 3rd Cloud Drake going by way of Deathcap for Cutie. And now they're going to run through, clear up some of these jungle camps, and maybe put some pressure here on Varus, who unfortunately is being jumped on by 2 champions there. The flash over the wall, aggressive flash from Shiny Ninetales, seeing the opportunity to take that and get that kill. And now, as those super minions are pouring into the mid lane for Team Coach Diff, they're feeling the pressure. Now, Gnar stuck between two towers. Look at the Caitlyn damage coming through. Piltover Peacemaker hits, not enough to take out the Gnar. This is going to be the tier 2 top tower dropping, as we have another split going on in the bot side with Nocturne and Orianna taking the bot tier 2. A great use of the Baron from Deathcap for Cutie, not grouping all 5 members together. You don't need to. Buff up all 3 lanes. Try to triple inhib this team. Makes it for a near insurmountable problem as we see the Shockwave go a little wide. But the damage is being done as we see Coach Diff trying to find the best way to answer this. A TP coming in from Gnar. Mega is just about charged. A couple of hits here. Hops to the backside. Does finally get Gnar, and a 3-man Gnar into the wall. This could be the turn that Coach Diff is looking for. Varus ult layers down. Anivia ult is coming down. Just shredding these players, but Shiny Ninetales and Orianna is going untouched. Trades a lot of damage there. Viego and Orianna barely sneaking out. Viego in the body of Rakan, swaps back over to the Viego body, and he drops there. You've got to believe this is the end in sight for Deathcap for Cutie. They have a super minion here. Baron just, unfortunately, expires. That's got another Shockwave coming up, dropping. So they're going to try to get as much damage on this as they can, but they are running out of minions. This is a hold. Anivia is back up. Anivia does have full mana. And then the troll inhib comes through. Unfortunately, Deathcap for Cutie had the end in sight. You could see them going for it. But unfortunate timing with the Baron fading off, losing the minions, Anivia coming back up for the wave clear. But they are able to grab that mid inhib just in time. By the way, it is storming outside here right now. So if the stream drops, you know what happened. Woo! Let's take a breather here. Deathcap for Cutie, 3,000 gold lead, 3,500 gold lead. Coach Diff, undefeated, 3-0, hasn't dropped a single game, and all of their wins have been fairly decisive. Deathcap for Cutie, 0-2 last week. What a statement they can make this week, taking down the #1 team in the league. The end is in sight. However, when you look over the side of Coach Diff, this Anivia has fantastic wave clear. It's going to be difficult to break into that base with the Anivia ult being able to shred these minions, as you're seeing there, drop the wall, divert them, and you just clear those supers. Just like that. But right now, both teams content to ARAM right here, not really getting any pressure in those side lanes. Deathcap for Cutie wanting to hold on to this tier 1 mid. This is a hill they're willing to die on. I'm going to zoom out a bit so we can get vision of everything. And the tower is going to survive as we zoom back in. Again, no team. Now I see that. Now Mordekaiser's going topside. Mordekaiser going to answer that. So if... Oh, a great Anivia wall and the stun onto the Orianna. That was the go button. As soon as the Mordekaiser showed top, there's the Gnar coming in. Gnar now has Mega. Look at the ult away from the tower. A fantastic collapse from Coach Diff. They saw the Mordekaiser go away. They saw it. They said, this is a 5v4. We want to take this fight. They jumped on it, dropped the Anivia wall, caught the Orianna. Fantastic play from Coach Diff from a deficit. They're still at a deficit, but they've dropped it all the way to 500 gold. And lo and behold, look at the top side of the map. The gigantic purple worm is spawned, and they're looking right for it. But on the flip side, look at Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser's going down to Drake. This is Dragon Soul for the side of Deathcap for Cutie. Unfortunately for Deathcap for Cutie, it is a Cloud Soul. Not particularly useful. Well, I take that back. Cloud Soul is useful. But of all the Cloud Souls you could get, usually it's on the lower end. It's usually not the one that people are really excited to have. We're at 35 minutes. So that is a Cloud Soul going over to Deathcap for Cutie. We could potentially see an Elder Dragon this game. Let me go back. I remind you what a great showing and what a great bounce back we are seeing here from Deathcap for Cutie. Losing 0-2 last week, going 0-2, sub 25-minute losses, and now taking the #1 team in the league to 36 minutes. They have Dragon Soul. They've cracked open the base. They do have the mid inhib down. I would love to see them get some side lane pressure. Not ARAM here, but we have the Mega Gnar to answer the Grand Entrance, and Rakan goes a little too deep. He does drop a great shockwave, catches the Varus. That's going to be Gnar dropping as well as the fight is turning on the backside. Mordekaiser takes down Morgana. Now Mordekaiser flashing forward on top of the Anivia. Anivia Zanya's. Viego still alive. Can he get any resets off this? It does not. He drops, and that is going to be the game going to Deathcap for Cutie. What a fight in the mid lane. Coach, I don't know if Coach Diff needed to fight there. They had the Baron buff. Get some pressure in the side lanes. The hard engage from the Rakan come through a little bit early, and he does drop for it, but the follow-up from the team goes through, takes out Coach Diff, delivering Coach Diff their very first loss of this season. What a performance. So excited I was able to see it and cast it for everybody to see. Congratulations are in order. Congratulations to Deathcap for Cutie grabbing that win, taking down the #1 team in the league. I'm going to take a look at some of these stats and read them off to you before we sign off here. Anivia, 19,000 damage in the game. Orianna, 28,000 damage in the game. Caitlyn, 37,000 damage that game. Sitting at 8-2-8, a great performance. You know, we talked about it before the matchup started. Bot lane is going to be a focus. Bot lane is going to have to put those big carry pants on for Deathcap for Cutie, and Shining Ontails did just that. Put on the carry pants with a Rogue Otters in the pocket. Rakan was there with those key engages, really punishing the Varus Morgana bot lane that has yet to be like overly punished yet this season for Coach Diff. They've been able to run this Varus in the bot lane, and you know they've let him farm up and let the Varus use the ult to try to turn the tide in team fights. So a great answer, great response from Deathcap for Cutie, and then just looking across at the team, everybody putting in work. Mordekaiser putting in a lot of damage as well, 23,000 damage. Nocturne in there for the objectives, able to get Cloud Soul with the help of Mordekaiser. Some great macro decision making there on the side of Deathcap for Cutie. You know, Coach Diff's taking Baron. Let's grab this Dragon Soul while we're here. So overall, fantastic game. What a nail biter. At the end of the day, Deathcap for Cutie takes it with just under a 3,000 gold lead. I was so excited to be here and cast this. I'm glad I was able to with the reschedules and the other casters not able to make it and the time frame. But either way, thank you so much for being here. Be sure to tune in to Rift Happens on Tuesday. We're dropping a new episode of that podcast. It's going to hopefully be in video format again, but if you prefer audio, it'll be on anchor.fm or any podcast platform of your choice. If you haven't caught episode 3, it is out. It is available in VOD form and video form on the Coach Rivals YouTube channel. That's Coach Rivals. And it's also on your favorite podcast provider. So check that out as Ronnie B and I break down all the matches that happen in week 3 and some of the things that the big changes that are happening in League of Legends with patch 11.13. So I'm out of breath. My throat hurts. I've been solo casting. That's tough. So thank you all so much for being here. It warms my heart to be able to present this and praise these coaches and the great things that they're doing. This is a fantastic organization and that we're all a part of. Again, thank you for being here. We'll see you guys later.